of my favorite ways to inject some randomness and originality into the sounds that I'm making in the studio is to control my effects pedals with LFOs. And my favorite way to do that is with my phone. And what I originally thought would be a pretty complicated process turned out to be super simple. So I'm going to explain it to you here today, and hopefully you'll begin reaping the benefits of modulating multiple parameters in real time really soon. But first, let's lighten the mood with some poorly programmed drums and walk through the equipment I'm going to use today. For this journey, you will need a phone. The following apps will be used in this demo, though they're not the only ones that work. AUM will be our host, and Rosetta will be sending LFOs. But there are a lot of apps that will work with the principles and equipment we're talking about here today. This should go without saying, but you'll need a pedal that accepts Midi commands. You'll need an interface to plug your phone into, and I'm using the iRig Midi 2. If you're using that device, you'll need a full-size Midi cable, as well as whatever kind of adapter you'll need to go into your pedal. Some pedals take 1/8 inch, some pedals take 1/4 inch, some pedals take full-size Midi, and if your pedal does that, you can skip this step. Alright, so I've got AUM running on my phone. I'm going to go ahead and plug in the iRig Midi 2 right here, and I'm going to hit this little plus button, click Midi, and then add an audio unit extension and choose Rosetta LFO. The next thing we want to do is tap this little squiggly icon here, which is where we connect things together, and what we want is for Rosetta LFO to send Midi out to the iRig. So we're just gonna connect those two boxes right there, hit close, and now hit play. I'm gonna open up Rosetta LFO. Let's see if it'll turn. Yep, there we go. Okay, so I know that my pedal is on Midi channel 1, so I'm just gonna double check that here. Yep, Midi channel 1. And I know that the little A dial over here on the arcades is controlled by Midi CC 20. We choose our CC right here, so I'm gonna change this to 20, and look what happens on dial A when I land on 20. It's moving. Aha, great. You can set your minimum value, it'll go down to 0, and your max value, which will go up to 127, and that corresponds to all the way counterclockwise and clockwise on the knob. So let's say like we only wanted the middle of the sweep of the knob. We'd change our max to like 97, our minimum to like 50 or something. Let's see how that feels. Yeah, and now look, the knob is only moving in that space. Now, the real fun comes when we start playing around with different waveforms here. Right now it's a sine wave, which means it's just gonna sweep left to right. Let's change the sample and hold, which is more like random, and turn up the rate a little bit. Oh wow, cool. Now the knob is jumping to random values within that range, which I'm gonna make bigger. And this is where it gets really fun for me, because it's injecting a certain amount of randomness into my signal without me actually having to turn the knob. So B is CC 21. Let's do a sample and hold there too. And look, that knob is moving 2. And C is 22. We'll leave that on a sine wave. So now we've got 3 knobs automated on the pedal, and the cool thing is you can run as many instances of Rosetta LFO as you want in AUM. So theoretically you could modulate all of the knobs. So there you go, it really is that easy. I would encourage you to just spend some time with all your different MIDI compatible pedals, and the last thing I'll show you is that if we close out of here, when you find a control scheme that you like, you can go in and save it in AUM, so that, let's say we called this arcades, we could just pull it up later. Okay, that is all. Good luck, safe travels, and go make some cool sounds.